Hello, everyone. Bill Molyneux here for Bill's War Game World with more Bill's Chit Chat session, painting our German paratroopers. And, you know, um, Lisa, my wife, is watching Shaun the Sheep Christmas Santa Claus special. And I said, I have the Germans almost done. And we just have to do a little silver on some of the weapons. And oh, and I got 4 left to do the green camo. So we're doing that right now. And now I had somebody write to me and say they haven't been able to decide how to do the camo on their own, figures. Now, you know, I don't know either. All I'm doing is throwing some green dabs on this stuff. And, you know, I think it's, Jim Shaw's videos of him painting. One of the things he says is just have fun with it and use colors and styles. And as long as you're not looking to win awards, and as you all know, my stuff won't ever win awards unless Jim Shaw's painting it. But if you look down here, they're almost done. Other than a little bit of silver, and of course they're not perfect. Now, I gotta say thank you to our English viewers out there, and I'm gonna throw this idea out that I'm thinking of doing a Donald Featherstone book review, or at least go over a book, maybe not in super detail, but every couple weeks. Um, I think I have every book he's written. The English longbow one, I think I lent it to someone a long time ago, and it's never returned. But other than that, he also had non-wargaming books too. And so, but that's just an idea. What do you all think? So we got our paratroopers camo done. Now we need some white. I need to do a little white dot on each helmet. And we need to paint a little bit of silver on some bayonets and such. So I'm going to pause the camera and grab the white paint and the silver paint. Okay, we have white. By the way, I use inexpensive Walmart paints for what little painting I do. And but they do make everything in dull coat, flat, and then of course they make the same paint in gloss. So if you don't want your figures to look glossy, you got to make sure you're grabbing the right paint. Now, these wounded Germans, I'm going to actually use them for extra gunners for my guns. And following lines is not easy for me. But there we have our bandage. There we go. All right, I'll put him off to the side, but you know what? We need to do the tiny little mark on the helmet. That one was a little big, but it doesn't have to be perfect in Bill's world. One day, it's just, this doesn't have to be always perfect. So we're just going to change the camera angle so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to do a little dot on each of my little Germans here of the white. And, I'll be getting ready to, I got to seal these with a spray paint sealant or brush sealant so they don't chip. So they definitely won't be ready for combat for another week or so. Plus we have to get them flocked. I'm going to flock the bases. Derek on the Chuckleheads, he loves having the figures flocked. There was a time I wasn't flocking a lot with the figures because I was doing school group things with them. But school group things can be an issue anymore. So, to the Donald Featherstone idea, leave a comment. You'll go on YouTube. There is not a lot on YouTube with Donald Featherstone. Sadly, he passed away before video, camera, the cell phones and all could do video so easily. So there's not a lot of video of him out there. I'm actually wondering if I could piece together still shots of his books with his pictures in it and do some narration over them along with the books that he'd written and make like a Donald Featherstone tribute video. I don't think anyone's done that, and I know a few wargamers from his original wargaming club have contacted me and have told me they're happy that I keeping his memory alive with my videos and his rules. That one white dot's a little big, but you sometimes just have to say, I messed up and move on. It's not the end of the world if one dot's a little too big. And so, yeah, it's a little big. We'll try to blot it out a little bit. I made it worse. Everyone. All right, what we might do with that one is go back with the gray paint and fix it. Now, for some reason, I was thinking there was 2 wounded figures with the arm deal, but it looks like I was not correct. All right, so we have the gray paint, and we're gonna fix my over white dot there. Okay, there we go. So my Donald Featherstone idea was just some kind of tribute thing for him. And there's our white dot smaller. All right, so we fixed that. Now, for those of you that are watching, of course, this may not even get 100 views, but I do know there are some people that work on their own figures and chit chat. Listen to my chit chat. And I'm really looking forward to setting this table up for the rest of these paratroopers. And I got a pretty cool looking paratrooper army now for wargaming, thanks to Jim Shaw and Josh the 3D printer, and Colonel Muller from, I think it's France. He's the one who has the 3D files that people can get, Muller. So if you're looking for 3D files, he's the fella to check on. And right now I'm just adding a little silver to my guns. Nothing crazy. And we're only doing the rifles. And there we go. And that's so we have a bayonet here, which is sort of cool. I was watching one of the YouTube videos on weapons of the Civil War, and they were talking about how most Civil War infantry units never got in totally close enough for as much bayonet attacks and charges that one side or the other would break before they would actually get into hand-to-hand combat. It was an interesting take on it, and I won't say who the historian was, because another historian left had a totally different point of view. So we and I don't want to turn into a big debate, but it was interesting that one historian had that point of view about it. And so now all we're doing is throwing a little silver on these. Nothing fancy. And I realize it could be black blue, but I'm doing the silver. And the reason is, in Bill's world, is just makes them stand out a little bit. And there. I'm quite happy with how these turned out. And I think by using having spread this out over several days saved my eyes. The one day I do know that it wasn't the best, so I needed to pace it a little more. And so the big turkey day is coming. By the way, I have a mess of Star Trek spaceships, and a couple years ago I did several Star Trek videos. One got like 800 views, and then I thought I lost all the spaceships. And when I did this massive cleaning, as many of you know, I spent 2 weeks just ripping the basement apart. I found them all, and that was sort of cool. So I could do a Star Trek game sometime too. All right, well, I'm not about to say they're perfect, but I think they're not bad for me. Now, I know there's a lot of you out there that are extremely good at painting, and these wouldn't be up to your standards. But for me, I think they're pretty good. And Jim Shaw, I'm quite happy with them. So we'll put the platoon together, and we'll change our camera angle. Okay, so right now we're pretty good shape. I can grab my pliers and dunk these guys into a black wash, and that's where we're at now. So, and then after that, we can flock them. So, how much will the wash matter? I don't know, but we're gonna go get it. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So we have our figure, we have our black wash, we dunk them in it, and we're just gonna set them there. Okay, dunk. And what will happen is it will dry, and the black will seep into it, into all the cracks and crevices. So this will make up for my poor painting. Give you a close-up. And I'm running about a 50% water, 50% black paint. And I'm just dipping them in quick, bringing them out. And all this black will dry. And it will only end up in the cracks and crevices. And then tomorrow, if it doesn't rain, I didn't check the weather for tomorrow for Maryland, but if it doesn't rain when I get home from work, I can spray paint these. If it's raining, I'll have to actually dip them in the polyurethane. And that will seal them. And what'll be neat is maybe tomorrow night I can get them flocked. So we are zipping along. You know who's a good painter besides Jim Shaw is Kevin of the Chuckleheads. He painted my pirates, which I want to use those pirates in the Battle of New Orleans with my War of 1812 figures at some point in life. Battle of New Orleans happens now. I think it's a January battle. I can't remember. But yeah, Kevin is Colonel Handsome of the Chuckleheads. He's a very good painter. Mike and Walt both are good painters. Derek's a good painter also, come to think of it. Well, those of you that are still watching, quite amazing how the black wash really will seep into some of these crevices and highlight the figure more. You also can get the same effect with a dry brush. However, I don't have the patience to do that. And I don't have the patience for that. But we're zipping right along. Really quite happy with how well these came out for my painting ability. And for all things considered, my eyes didn't go really bad. The one morning I had some issues, but look at that. Pause the camera here. All right, everyone. Well, what do you think? Um, Let me get us down here. Um, JT, he didn't ask to be recognized in his name, but he sent these to me, as I put in a video earlier. And as far as these figures, there's 29. So basically we say there's 30. So this is 3 platoons basically. So if this is our first leader, we would be able to have a second leader with 3 10-man units. And you can always have the wounded figure be a leader. So that's it in a nutshell. Tomorrow we'll spray paint them or seal them, and then we'll be able to flock them. And so I'm going to zoom in. Now you see how I get my paintbrush here. Use the tip, I guess. You see here in this legging how the black paint is sitting in these creases. When this dries, it'll give these figures that extra three-dimensional look. The same with the fingers. You'll notice that it's starting to dry in those fingers right there. So very cool. JT, thank you for sending these to me. To everyone that watches the channel, thank you again. Tomorrow night, depending on what I'm up to, we might do another basement talk, and I'll go and see what ideas I could have for a Donald Featherstone video for next year, a tribute to Donald Featherstone type of thing. And I guess that's it for now. Stay safe, be kind, be courteous. Thank you for watching. And don't forget your Goober calendar that supports the Maryland Veterans Museum in La Plata, Maryland.